Hello everyone and welcome to New York Empoleon's Week 10 battle of the APA Evolution League. We are 7-2 with a chance to win the league, or at least win like first seed overall, which is crazy. And these next 2 weeks are going to matter a lot for that. Both these opponents are incredibly talented and they have very good records. Incredibly very good records. But anyway, we are taking on Mio this week and the Oklahoma City Thundurus. So if you have never checked out Mio before, he is considered an incredibly talented battler and has a very scary team and is a very good record as a result of that. As unsurprising as it sounds, I think he's 6-3 with the same differential as us. So that's pretty absolutely crazy. But we are going to be hopefully able to take him on this week and get a victory, but we'll see. So first things first, his team is Mega Scizor, Latios, Keldeo, Gliscor, Ribombee, Rotom Heat, Gigalith, Decidueye, and Weavile, with Keldeo and Ribombee being his two possible Z users. He's got great speed tiers. I say it like that because there's nothing in the middle, so no incentive for any of my mons between base 25 and base 70 to run any speed investment unless they're trying to outspeed something like his Mega Scizor or Rotom Heat or Decidueye. All of which are threats, but they aren't the scariest things in the world. So we're going to lead off with Vaporeon. Now this Vaporeon set actually just basically hard counters his entire team if it does not get statused, and that is Acid Armor, Wish, Scald, and Ice Beam. I have no idea what just happened to my screen right there, so if there was a flicker, I apologize, but okay. And this thing literally sits in on his entire team, and if I can get an Acid Armor up, then he doesn't break me with Mega Scizor, he doesn't break me with his Rotom Heat because I'm specially defensive, he doesn't break me with the Decidueye, he doesn't break me with Weavile, and then Keldeo's Secret Sword is doing very little, and we can just kind of eventually win the game. That is sort of the plan with this Vaporeon, is just eventually win the game. It is my dedicated Keldeo check as well, since it has enough bulk to be 3-hit KO'd by Secret Sword and by well, obviously water type moves aren't going to do anything, so Secret Sword is the most relevant one. It's 3 KO'd by that. It would be a 2 KO if he goes Secret Sword into Z Secret Sword, but then I know he's the Z move, he's popped his Z move, and he doesn't have to worry about it for other mons later. Next up, we do have the Scizor, which is going to be Aqua Berry this week, with Bullet Punch, U-Turn, Knockoff, and Natural Gift for his Mega Scizor. This thing has, it's very, very fast. Now, his Mega Scizor obviously has 10 base speed advantage on me, but because I'm running a lot of speed investment, hopefully he isn't going to be able to outpace me. I outspeed an uninvested Gliscor with this, which is what I was going for, and then Bullet Punch, U-Turn, and Knockoff are just good moves against his team. I can't touch the Keldeo, but I didn't expect to be able to do that anyway, so we are going to be just U-turning off the Keldeo and the Rotom Heat as well, are two things that I really don't love seeing. But this thing does handle things like the Weavile incredibly healthily, incredibly well. Decidueye doesn't like taking a knockoff. Gliscor does not want to take a knockoff, I'll tell you that. Latios does not appreciate a knockoff or a U-turn. And Mega Scizor, Natural Gift Aqua Berry is going to be useful for that. If the Mega Scizor goes down and I haven't had to click Natural Gift, then I do have the Aqua Berry still in hand. So it was sort of a two-fold victory there, as Scizor can utilize that Aqua Berry as a defensive measure or an offensive measure. But I really want to see if I can make Natural Gift work this week. It's only there for the Mega Scizor. Everything else gets hit either better by something else or badly by Natural Gift specifically. So hopefully it works, and that is where we're going this week. Next up is going to be my Shukaberry Nidoqueen with Ice Punch, Stealth Rock, Rock Slide, and Toxic. His Rock setting is really good against his team, getting him in so that the Rotom Heat and the Weavile can't just switch in for free, breaking his Sash, and the Ribombee, excuse me. Toxic, very useful against everything that isn't Gliscor, since his only immunity to it besides Gliscor is the Mega Scizor, and that thing does not want to switch into a Nidoqueen, since that Nidoqueen does have fire coverage very easily, and it's free because he has the Mega Scizor, so he knows that I want to bring it. Additionally, fire coverage is also really good against his Ribombee and his Weavile and his Decidueye, so it makes sense to bring fire coverage. I'm not, because I know it makes sense to bring fire coverage, so he's going to play around it regardless. And I like these moves better, since the Ice Punch allows me to hit the Gliscor, which is something that could obviously switch into my Nidoqueen. And the Rock Slide still hits the Rotom Heat and the Weavile, which are two other things that can definitely come in on my Nidoqueen if I'm running, you know, the standard set. Weavile maybe less so, but definitely the Rotom Heat. Shukaberry allows me to 1v1 the Gliscor incredibly well, beats the Gigalith as well, and then get my Stealth Rocks up or set up a Toxic on something, which is 100% accurate because I'm a Poison type. So I always forget that particular thing, but it's true, and I should remember it. Next up is Gardevoir. Gardevoir is going to be Scarfed this week with Moonblast, Psyshock, HP Fire, and Heal Bell max special attack with a ton of speed, which is going to, it's not specifically going to beat anything if I recall correctly from the amount of speed I want it to run. But it is going to be able to outpace everything that isn't Scarfed on his entire team, and hopefully that is going to be able to help wear his team down. I do trace the Technician with the hit Mega Scizor, and then can Hidden Power Fire, for instance, but I don't have the bulk to survive it. I have run Gardevoirs against Mega Scizors that have the bulk to survive a Bullet Punch and then trace into Technician. That's not the plan with this one. This one really 1v1s things like the Weavile, and the Psyshock is just so free against most of his team, like his Keldeo, that I really need to check, and he can't really switch in anything except Weavile on a Psyshock, which doesn't want to take a Moonblast, or the Latios, which also doesn't want to take a Moonblast, or the Mega Scizor, which doesn't want to take Hidden Power Fire. The last move is Heal Bell, just because, again, like I said, the Vaporeon getting poisoned is one of the ways to wear it down, so being able to Scarf Heal Bell, get rid of the poison, will help me late game if I do need to keep my Vaporeon healthy for any reason. That is going to help me, even if it means sacking off my Gardevoir, which is not necessarily a win con, it's just a good breaker through the mid game. Next up is my Aguav Berry Incineroar, Toxic Fake Out, U-Turn, and Knockoff, with no offensive investment, very bulky Incineroar. This thing stops the Mega Scizor in its tracks, but really doesn't actually hit anything. It is very much support. Getting Toxics on his team and then Fake Outs will allow me to slowly whittle things down. Taking away any sort of item is going to help me. Being able to knock off the Gliscor, for instance, I do survive an Intimidated Earthquake and get my Aguav Berry to pop and then knock off his Toxic Orb and don't have to worry about it. Knocking off the Latios, toxing the Keldeo on the switch-in, all of those are really useful and honestly more important to me than breaking the Mega Scizor, which doesn't actually threaten most of my team if we're going to be perfectly honest about it. And so I don't even know, like, if he brings it, I have answers to it, but I don't, like, you see how few of them that I actually cared to bring because Vaporeon stops it and Scizor stops it, and honestly that's enough for me. And Incineroar doesn't need fire coverage, and the Nidoqueen doesn't need fire coverage because the Scizor doesn't switch in on them anyway, and they're better served with other moves. Toxic Fake Out just allows me to chip his team away, and then the Aguav Berry gives me some staying power, so in case there are rocks up on my side of the field, then I can switch in, go under 25%, get the Aguav Berry, and get a couple more switch-ins with more Intimidates. That's really important because his team is incredibly offensive and scary, and that is something I'm going to have to play around. And lastly, we are going to reveal a little bit that this is an accident, but it's also a post-commed team builder. So I'm actually recording this team builder after the battle because, wow, excuse me, I'm dying. Because I ran, in this battle, you will see, I ran a max attack Jolly Coco with Volt Switch, Dazzling Gleam, Hidden Power, Water, and Roost. That is not a meme. That was not intentional. This was supposed to be max special attack and timid, but it's not. And you'll see that in the battle. I realized that halfway through the battle, and it's, oh boy. So when you're playing Mio, recommendation is check your EVs, because that is a colossal problem come the middle of this game. But I have to, I mean, I do team builders. I have to announce that I ran that. This is exactly the set that I am bringing against Mio. I know exactly what happens in the battle, so hopefully I'm not spoiling anything for you guys for tomorrow. You guys should come watch that, though, and watch me react to, it's a post-com of that as well, but you should watch me react to the battle. And when I realized the Coco is, when I realized the Coco is Jolly, it's just a problem. I like literally switch back over to my team builder. I'm like, oh no, and then I like go back to that. I'm like, nope, we gotta push through. Coco is now significantly less valuable than it would have been otherwise. But yeah, so that's the team that we're gonna be rocking out with this week. Hopefully my Jolly Coco can put in some work against his team. I ran Hidden Power Water over Hidden Power Ice so that I had a way to hit the Rotom. That was basically the only reason. And then Roost just gives me some sort of staying power. But it's way less important when I can't actually do any damage to anything. Anyway, I will see you guys all back here tomorrow with that battle where we bring a Jolly all special attacks Coco. Thank you all so much for watching. Take care, everybody.